I've been low, lower than the floor. That negativity you force on top of me. Only I can set me free. I wanna be the best that I can be. You better go.
Now we're going to get into our topic of conversation. Top headlines went pretty well. Hopefully I don't mess up too bad in this main topic. So we have the PGA Tour. We're going to go over the results there just right now. So we had the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. I watched that on ESPN Plus. $8 million purse, almost $9 million purse, $8.7 million. Now the winner was Tom Hoge, or I don't know how you pronounce his name, with 19 under par, which is beast mode. Jordan Spieth was 17 under at second place. Hostler at 16. Patrick Cantlay was there for a little bit, but he dropped off at 15 under, and Merritt at 15 under. My boy Jason Day, he kind of dropped off. He went at +2 on the final round, and he dropped a tied with 24th position. Didn't make a move in the final day, which I thought Day would, but drops under Bo Van Pelt at 9 under for the tournament, +2, and not good, but he's still up there in the top 25, so that's not too bad. He's getting a lot better over the years. So I don't really know much about this Tom Hoge guy, so we're going to talk about him right now. All right, I looked him up. He's born out of Statesville, North Carolina. He's 6'1", 205. That's where I want to be at. That's a good height and weight right there for me. That's perfect for me. He actually lives in Fargo, North Dakota. He went to TCU, Texas Christian University, for college, and he turned pro in 2011. He only has 2 professional wins, just a couple shy of Ricky Fowler, which he sucks. He has 1 win this year. Let's see. He disqualified for the Masters Open, tied for 58th in a PGA Championship back in 2020, tied for 43rd in the U.S. Open back in 2019, and was disqualified in the Open Championship. And that pretty much sums everything up about him. I don't really know much about him. I would like to know a little bit more about him. Hopefully, if you guys have any, he was on the web.com, Tom Core, and Canadian Tour. Highest ranking with 39th, and that is right now. So he is busting it up right now. He's in the top 40. Casey Kasem. I don't know if you guys remember that. Casey's top 40. Hi, I'm Casey Kasem. Anyways, sorry. But Tom Hoge is your main guy. So then I was going to talk about some top headlines here. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Here's my notes. There you go. Sam Alvey, according to MMA Fighting, is not done fighting yet. This was just written about an hour ago, but admits needs to take a little bit of a hiatus. He's going to take some time. His loss against Brandon Allen, which I had Brandon Allen, and we're going to get to that UFC pick'ems and how good I did and how good I usually do. It's been nearly 4 years since a 35-year-old has tasted victory inside the octagon. Is Dana White going to still allow him to fight is the question. 35 years old, does he bring in enough revenue for these fights? Quote, I'm fresh off of my UFC fight, and I am, as I'm sure a lot of you saw, I didn't get it done. Alvey said on Instagram, I've lost a step, end quote. So kind of see if Dana White even allows him to fight again. But I don't know. Maybe it's going to happen. I like seeing the older guys going in there, but Brandon Allen gets a job done, rocks him, knocks him. I like the way he went to the body, to the head, chin it up with the hook, bam, dropped him to the ground, started a little ground and pound into the rear naked choke, submission, victory. And that's how you do it. All right, so that was that. Now we have, this is according to SB Nation. What's next for Jack Hermansen? Jack the Hammer, I think his name is, following the loss at UFC Vegas 47. And we're going to talk about this fight because I watched the whole entire fight. When it's on ESPN Plus, I get to watch all of it. But when they do like the UFC 271, which Adesanya versus Whitaker 2 is coming up here soon, next weekend, as a matter of fact. So this fight that we're going to talk about here, the main event, Sean Strickland versus Jack Hermansen. Now, I don't know what was going on with Sean Strickland. I don't know if he was trying to show off his ability to... He probably doesn't want to give his whole arsenal up. It's just a big chess game, especially when you know you're going to win. And then Hermansen was not even close He really couldn't do anything, couldn't take him to the ground, didn't get any takedowns, I don't think, the whole fight. Went to 5 rounds. Sean Strickland actually got a split decision. There's a lot of stuff on the UFC forum that I'm on Facebook, and we had a lot of talk about that, which I was really upset about because obviously Sean Strickland destroyed him. Hermansen was only 10% at striking, so for the whole entire fight, and Sean Strickland was just beating him apart with that jab. That jab was there all day. Hermansen's face was all just beat to hell. So it's kind of anxious to see what Sean Strickland and the committee and Dana White and all that are going to catapult him into a title contention with the Adesanya versus Whitaker 2 fight at UFC 271 for this weekend. That's going to be Saturday night. I might have to, I don't know how I'm going to watch that. I'm not going to order it because I sure as heck ain't going to pay $80. But if anybody's listening right now, if they're having any kind of party or any kind of fight thing, all dude party or whatever, somewhere. I know my one buddy Jeremy that he's been on the show on YouTube as well. I know he's had some parties out there for his house and stuff like that, and watch some fights, and I'll give you like $10-15 or something like that. That way all of us can pitch in. I'm down for that. But following a great run from 2018 to 2019, the Joker, that's what his name is, hasn't been a consistent win at all. So he's 2 for 2. He's sorry to the fans, he says. He's ranked at number 6 at the moment, but he'll definitely drop pretty far. But I'm not going to read the whole bunch of that article, just get a little bit of information and stats for you guys for Jack Hermansen. I don't know if you guys like Jack Hermansen. Give me some feedback on that. I think he's from Norway, I believe. Oslo, Norway. I think he fights out of Oslo, but I don't know if he's actually Norwegian or not. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I like when Dana White allows all the fights to happen on ESPN Plus, because obviously I got the Verizon package, Disney Plus, Verizon, and Hulu package, so I can watch all the ESPN Pluses. Cool that PGA Tour has signed an agreement for this year for ESPN Plus as well. So look at that. It's really cool. If you have Verizon, get that unlimited plan and that Disney Plus package. It's really cool. You might spend a little bit more money on it, but it helps you in the long run. Just don't add anything else. That's the thing. That's the problem. Everybody wants to add Netflix and all that stuff. Luckily, I use my sister's. Thank you, Megan. Love you. But anyway, that was the fight of the night. Was the featherweights, the first main on the main card. I can't remember the names, but I'm going to go back to. I don't even have my stuff out. Hold on a second. So I have my picks here. Now that was the Peterson fight. Was the one that I picked, and that was a domination fight, and I believe. So I had Peterson. Let's take a look. I was going to get off this. So Peterson, I think he lost. That was Julian Erosa, the taller 6'1". How can he be 6'1", 145? He pretty much picked him apart on the outside. Had a lot of leg kicks. Peterson couldn't really get anything going. He busted his face up with that knee to the face, and just broke his. I don't know if he busted his whole nose or busted his whole mouth off and stuff. That was pretty crazy. So Julian Erosa gets the decision after 3 rounds. Sorry. So he goes to 27-10. So looking out for him, Julian Erosa, he's a contender here in the featherweight division. And then the middleweight fight. This is kind of the Ultimate Fighter Championship 2, if you want to say it that way, because Gore had to back out of the fight in the Ultimate Fighter. I don't know if you guys watched the Ultimate Fighter or not. So I had Brian Battle in this one. So far I have 1-1. Brian Battle's 8-1 overall all time. Went to decision. Brian Battle gets the battle done. Gore was a little hesitant, but Battle is really fast. I don't think he's going to have that knockout power to knock you out. But he definitely took Gore off of his game. Battle's always going to do kicks and feints and jabs and body kicks and just all kinds of different types of Muay Thai stuff that he does. I put this on my LinkedIn and my Facebook, my social media. I was wondering where his wife and his family was, because I would have thought that he had flew them out there. I think they actually live out there in Vegas. I'm not sure. I can't remember where Brian Battle lives. Let me see real quick. I'm going to try to look him up. That way we know where he's from. Little Pooh Bear is what they call him. I thought he lived in Vegas, but apparently he does not. I was trying to... Give me a second. I'm trying to look it up for you guys. Fights out of High Easton MMA, Charlotte, North Carolina. That's why. That's kind of a far drive and a far distance for, especially he's probably not making a whole lot of money as of yet. He probably is now. They'll definitely be at his next fight. I'll tell you that much. And then the next fight. So as right now, I'm 1-1. Peterson, loss. Brian Battle, win. Sam Alvey versus Brandon Allen. We just talked about that fight. Talked about Brandon Allen getting the rear naked choke submission in round 2 at 210 in the second round. So we're not going to talk about that. We already talked about it. Then we're going to do the Rachmanov versus Carlston Harris. I thought Harris was going to get the win. He's got a little bit more of a seasoned veteran. Rachmanov's coming out of Kazakhstan. He's 15-0. He's a force to be reckoned with in the welterweight division. That's all I got to say. Dude's a freaking stud. Drops him in round 1 at 4:10 left, almost at the end of the first round, and just dominated. I love the striking. That's all I'm saying. So I missed that one because I had Harris in that one. Then we really went deep into the middleweight contender division with the co-main and the main event on the podcast on Friday, if you remember. So Soriano versus Makimov. Makimov is undefeated, and he is still undefeated. This went to a decision. Soriano did a really good job. He obviously has a lot of power, a lot of moving around in the grappling. I didn't like the Nick Maximov. He gets the win, but it was too much like just a grind. It's boring to watch. I mean, he got a busted nose. I think he might have broke his nose. Soriano did, but a lot of grappling around. Now Soriano on the ground was pretty impressive, though. I ain't gonna lie. He's a lot of sweeps, a lot of transitions, which was nice. But Maximov gets the job done, gets the takedowns. But Soriano always was on his feet. Maximov was never in like a dominant position at all throughout the whole entire fight, the 3 rounds. But hopefully I want to see Maximov open it up in the boxing. Only go to the wrestling if you really have to, but he obviously doesn't have that much of, like pride or whatever. I'm trying to think of the term. He doesn't have that much confidence in his boxing ability, I don't think, because he throw a little jabs, throw some little straights and all that stuff, maybe a hook in there, maybe 1 or 2 hooks or something, but really didn't go crazy in the boxing realm. And out of the Nick Diaz Academy, you'd think that he would have a lot more boxing. Obviously he's good at ground, but he needs to work on his boxing a lot better, a lot more. By the way, so we're going to I'm actually right now I'm going to go 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2. I'm 3-2 going into the main card, and I had Sean Strickland. Strickland gets the victory. We talked about this fight already over Jack Hermansen. Jack Hermansen had nothing. He couldn't do anything. Couldn't hit him. I mean, I think he had one lucky little jab or whatever it was, a straight that kind of messed up Strickland's nose. Was a little bit bloody at the end of that fight, maybe the 3rd or 4th round. But Sean Strickland is a freaking stud. I really like him. He could have done a lot more. He called himself a pansy in this one, which is understandable. He probably was fighting not to lose, and you can tell when a fighter is fighting not to lose or just to dominate. He didn't have that dominant, like in your face. He did at the last 30 seconds, which I didn't like. If you're going to run your mouth at somebody, you run your mouth when you first start talking, when you first get in there. But it seemed like he had a lot of respect for Hermansen. He stuffed that takedown defense. I think he was 6 for 6, 7 for 7 in the whole fight for the 5 rounds. Hermansen pretty much gave up on taking him down. So Hermansen had to get in there, try to get inside, and do a little damage to his face, but he didn't do anything. Strickland's really good, really fast at like little feints just to get out of the way. He does just enough to feint and get out of the way and slip them jabs, slip them shots. So it's kind of anxious to see how the fight UFC 271, which I was going to get into here in a second. And then we have a special segment at the end, which I haven't looked up yet. So hopefully I can look that up while I'm talking on the fly, but I'm not really good at multitasking. But UFC 271, Adesanya versus Whitaker 2, that's really going to be exciting. Hopefully that's going to be on ESPN Plus. Dana White, please allow these. Can you allow all these fights to be on ESPN Plus? I mean, this is just getting ridiculous. But anyways, so there is your UFC picks and UFC results. I actually went 4-2. I could probably look on my ESPN app and just tell you how I did, but I won't go there. But anyways, so we're going to take a look at UFC 271, Adesanya versus Whitaker. We're not going to talk about that as of yet. So hopefully I'm just going to give you a little teaser as of right now. And hopefully you stay tuned to Friday's show, because that's what we're going to talk about, the UFC Fight Night. UFC 271, Adesanya versus Whitaker 2. And again, AJ, this is AJ Let's Talk Sports. Hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. Please let me know. Any feedback is awesome. And subscribe and follow. I need a lot more subscribers on my YouTube. I'll tell you that. I want to try to utilize, like I said, YouTube a lot more. I'm going to drop this into YouTube later after lunch or so, around 3 o'clock or something like that. I'm going to head out to the coffee shop here soon in about an hour or so. Then I'm going to edit all that stuff down. This is all going to be unedited though. I always do raw dog this show, you know what I'm saying, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. Special segment, Monday Motivation. Positive quote of the day, real quick to end the show. This is from Winston Churchill. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And that is the positive motivational quote that I needed for my day. And hopefully that is the positive quote that you needed for your day. Because there's always going to be haters out there. Me and my brother and my sister are already talking about that this morning. You got to focus on you. Focus on you. There's always going to be outsiders. And the sad thing is that the people that are the hater the most are the ones that are the closest to you. And it's sad. It's very depressing. But you got to take that, harness it, and put it into positivity. And that's what I'm doing. A lot of different positive vibes here, okay? So success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill, son. All right? There is your motivational quote. AJ, Let's Talk Sports. Love you guys. God bless. You know what to do. Tip your waitress.